Jorgrim no longer travels through Aldor as a stranger. There was a time when every contract was simply another way to survive. Then they became a chance to understand this unfamiliar land and the people who called it home. Now they mean something different. Aldor is no longer just the place where he ended up after losing Fjall. It is the place where he has earned the right to stand. He no longer waits for work to find him. Written contracts are only part of the road now. Rumors of forgotten ruins, abandoned forts, monster dens, and places most travelers avoid have become just as important. If danger threatens the people of Aldor, someone will eventually have to face it. Jorgrim has decided that someone might as well be him. After returning to camp to repair his equipment, collect the rewards from his latest victories, and prepare for another journey, a stop at Rotten Willow Inn brings an unexpected offer. Okri asks him to investigate a nearby cave connected to strange, magical experiments. The details mean little to Jorgrim. Magic remains a mystery to him. What matters is that it sounds dangerous enough to deserve attention. It is worth discussing. But back at camp, another path calls. The caravan agrees on a different destination, Fort Etbert, another place left behind by others, another place waiting to be claimed. Not for glory, not for gold. Simply because this is Jorgrim's home now. Fort Etbert offers no easy victories. The warriors defending its walls are as seasoned as those Jorgrim faced in the bandit mine, but far more varied. Axemen, swordsmen, archers, and mages fight together, forcing him to read every encounter before committing to it. There is no room for recklessness, nor for hesitation. Jorgrim advances one fight at a time, choosing his moments, enduring the pressure, and refusing to give the enemy control of the battlefield. Every encounter lasts longer than expected, demanding patience as much as strength. There was a time when battles were simply a way to stay alive. Later, they became a way to understand Aldor. Now, every road he clears and every enemy he defeats helps protect the land that welcomed him when he had nowhere else to go. He no longer fights as a stranger passing through. He fights as someone who has found a place worth defending. One duel became another, then another. Fort Etbert seemed built around worthy opponents. Every corridor led to another warrior willing to stand his ground. Between battles, Jorgrim slowly spun his axes through the air, waiting for the next opponent to step forward. The harder the fight became, the more determined he was to face it. Not to prove he was stronger than the man before him, but to prove that every lesson Aldor had forced him to learn had made him worthy of calling it home. The fighting was relentless, but not without pauses. From time to time, the fort offered a brief moment to search the fallen, gather supplies, and catch his breath. Never long enough to grow comfortable, just enough to steady himself, adjust his gear, and press on. The rhythm never truly stopped, and Jorgrim made sure he never lost it. And now, the stairs leading deeper into the fort came into view. Jorgrim knew what that meant. The fiercest duels were still ahead. The strongest warriors would be waiting below. But that was why he had come. Not to test his luck, not to seek glory. He had come to drive these bandits from Fort Etbert and leave this place as it should be. One less threat in the land he now called home. So far, Jorgrim had kept every battle under control. Each duel had gone his way, but experience had taught him not to confuse success with safety. His instincts refused to let him relax. Something about the fort told him the hardest fight had not yet revealed itself. If he stopped respecting what lay ahead, he would leave this place in one of only two ways: broken or not at all. His instincts had been right. The deeper he pushed into Fort Etbert, the less room there was for mistakes. One battle flowed into the next, each demanding a different answer. Every enemy brought a new threat, forcing Jorgrim to read the battlefield before committing to each swing of his axes. There was no room for routine anymore. Every decision mattered. Because in a place like this, hesitation was punished. But so was overconfidence. That was impressive. Everything happened so fast it was almost impossible to follow. One opening led to the next, every strike placed exactly where it needed to be. Years ago, that would have looked like chaos. Now, it looked like experience. The leader of Fort Etbert finally fell. He never truly had a chance. Jorgrim forced the fight into a distance where the crossbow meant nothing. The weapon that gave his opponent confidence became useless once the battle turned into close quarters. The bandit tried to match him blade to blade, but that was a battlefield where few could stand against Jorgrim. The duel was decided. The trophy was claimed. But the work was not finished. As always, Jorgrim searched the fort from end to end. Every fallen enemy, every forgotten corner, every piece of equipment had its value. Anyone who still stood between him and what remained of the dungeon would face the same fate. He was tired. His body carried the weight of every battle fought inside those walls. But exhaustion was not an excuse to leave things behind. Weapons needed repairs, armor needed maintenance, and gold was still necessary. Survival had rules, and Jorgrim knew them well. Now Jorgrim was satisfied. Fort Etbert was silent. No bandits remained, and everything of value had been collected and secured. The work was done. It was time to return, first to the camp. A warm meal, a moment of rest, and time to recover after another battle that tested everything he had learned in Aldor. Then, the reward. another completed contract, another step forward. Jorgrim's journey had changed. What began as simple survival had become something much greater. Every battle, every challenge, and every dangerous place he entered continued to shape the warrior he was becoming. The Berserker was no longer just a reflection of his past. It was part of who he was now. And there was still much more ahead. The road would continue to bring stronger enemies and harder trials, but Jorgrim no longer carried the same weight he once did. The pain of losing Fjall remained a scar, but it no longer controlled him. He had learned to live beyond rejection.
And now, with nothing left holding him back, there was very little that could stop him.